Barefoot Shoes. And lock your doors. All this and more on today's Brilliant Observations. Do, 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 do.
Well. Good morrow to you, Melissa.
Well, hello. How are you? Well, hello. How are you, Amy?
I'm doing okay. How are you doing? Bright and sunny, I see.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still on the end of this illness that kicked my ass for now a full week.
That's new for you.
It is. I haven't been sick in like 10 years, like really sick, and we're not counting that. You got a vaccine and it knocked you on your ass. That's 8 hours. I could take that. This, kicked my ass. However, it did not stop me from doing things. I went to the beach house, not the actual beach. Don't get excited. I went to the beach house and had a relaxing, delicious weekend. And I'm back here to play with you. How are you doing?
Well, I was doing excellent. I was doing extraordinarily well.
Ruh-roh.
For lots of fantastic reasons. And then I had two horrible things happen.
What the fuck?
They're absolutely not horrible in the slightest. I had two irritants, which in my life is horrible.
Agreed.
To have an irritant. No, and I am just there. I'm talking in the past 11 and a half minutes. They both pip happen at the same time. So it's sort of front and center in my life.
I think dear listener would like to solve your problems for you. So what happened and how can we fix it?
How do you solve a problem like a teenager? Because I'm fucking...
Oh, you're on your own.
So I have a group text for each child with just my spouse because I've got myriad group texts. We'll just start there. I'll cut all the way through to as they're leaving, as they're I have so many different permutations and triangulations of texts for when I just want these people to know at the same time. And they're all given different names, so they're easy for me to find. And the text with our youngest and my husband and myself is, and then there was one. So that's the name of the group text, right?
I love it.
And it has things like your cheesesteak order and coming out now. I mean, it's like riveting content on this text thread. Well, the aforementioned teen is on an all-day do-goodery field trip today. They started school 2 weeks ago. So this entire week when most of the world is back to school, first day of school, yeah, they've been there a bit. So today is a drive away in a coach bus field trip. And then tomorrow through the end of the week is a who knows where camping deal, but they're sleeping inside. So it's not that big of a deal for camping. You're out somewhere, whatever it is, at like a facility. Okay. So it's not a learning week, right? Today they're building tiny houses at the tiny house factory at someplace, whatever. Okay, great. Lovely. So about 12 minutes ago, the group text, and then there was one, magically receives a smiley face that says, howdy. And then the alert comes through that says, your son has added Wyatt to the chat. And I said, what the? Your son has added Jake to the chat. Your son has added Sean to the chat. Your son has added Roshan to the chat. Your son has added Poonam, Roshan's fucking mom, to the chat. Your son has added Neil. And so at first I'm thinking, are they trying to like cook up some kind of a sleepover? Like, are we going to have to buy tickets to some sports event? No, he's just dicking around. He's just dicking around. And then all these other fucking bored clowns start sending me icons of like, here comes a taco waving at you. Here comes a gif of Michael Jordan crying. Here comes somebody took a stupid picture of my son and he looks really dumb. Send that to me. Then there comes 18 laughing, crying, hee emojis coming through. Yes, so I'm now on the imbecile group chat with all the imbeciles. And
that's fucking hilarious. I love him so much.
It's not. It's disrespecting the group chat.
You can leave that group chat and then start a new one. However,
well, I gave him all the fodder he needs, as I always do, because I texted to that same group, wow, that's a lot of ads, because I was like, what's getting ready to happen? And then I texted him privately and I said, cut the shit, clown. And then immediately I got 15 more smiley face, wink, wink, because I'm sure he just turned his phone around to these butt heads, and then they were immediately like,
I'm sorry. Isn't that exactly what you and your asshole friends do to me every time?
We're equals in this scenario.
Okay.
We're equals. We're peers. We're peers.
But it doesn't make it less annoying.
No.
It doesn't make it any less annoying that
like
everybody.
You're the weak link, though. Wait, am I the weak link?
You are the weak link in that chat.
Damn it. That's not okay. Now I'm irritated again. I'm irritated. I got 3 irritants. And a teen is 1. 3 irritants. The other irritant has to do with the fucking same teen. Because at some point, I bought him some stupid crap at Banana Republic. Who the fuck goes there? I do. So I go to Banana Republic, and in order to save an extra, 9 cents, I open their dumb card, immediately said, I'd like to pay it right now at the register. And they're like, oh, sure. Oh, wait, can't do that. I'm like, I wish you told me this before I opened the card. Now, fast forward, maybe this was in 2010. I don't know when I did this. I happened to be going through the mail looking for something else, and in it, only because I was going through the mail, I would have missed this entirely. It's a notice from one of these baddies saying, no, it was from a bank. From Barclays Bank, saying we have downgraded your credit limit to $500. And I'm like, who the fuck are you? I don't even have a card with you.
They're the ones who bought out the Gap.
You do.
Yeah, they bought out the Gap credit card system.
Oh, yes, you do have a card with me. And guess what? You have severe delinquency. And we have reported you to Equifax and your new credit score. Guess how low my credit score is? I'm so pissed. Guess how low the credit score is?
310.
No, it's terribly low. It's 581. I dropped 300 points or almost 300 fucking points over this stupid shit. And I guarantee you that the balance on my fantasy Banana Republic card is $29.78. It's like some stupid. Oh, so now I get to fight all that stupid. And it's all that same group text kid. He's not worth it. That's the number one. He's not worth it.
The first one is hilarious because Payback is a bitch and so is Missy. And I am laughing my ass off at you because your listener.
Fair. That's not funny.
Damn it. It's hilarious because we have a group chat of 10 of us.
We're very
one of us does not have a fucking iPhone and her Galaxy or whatever the fuck it is. Every time she likes something.
It's a cricket phone or whatever.
Yeah. She's got a pay-as-you-go phone, Sarah. Every time
phone.
It reprints the entire text and puts a heart or a laugh, or it's such a pain in the ass. And then I yell at her to get a better phone, and everybody's like, oh, this annoys Melissa. And then everybody has to put a heart on every. Look, we're a funny group of people. Let's just assume what we said was funny. Not everybody needs to thumbs up me, put a heart on it, or laugh. Or just shut the fuck up, smile, nod, and move on with your day.
So I just have to make sure that people are catching up. So when you have an Apple iPhone and then any other maker of a phone is in your group text, Apple prevents it from displaying and having the full range of functions as Apple iPhone users. So it becomes really annoying when you're in a group text and magically you don't get the features that you need. Or somebody wants to have a heart or just say quickly, thumbs up, I get it. Whenever that person does it, it causes a bunch of trash notifications to come to the iPhone users. So find this really hilarious, and we exploit this actively against Melissa by hearting things that or thumbs upping things that don't actually require it. So I'm getting a feel of the howdy cowboy emoji. I'm starting to get a feel of the 3 laughing crying. I'm getting to the waving taco.
It's hilarious, isn't it, Amy?
No,
isn't it, Amy?
You know what though? you know what though? Okay, from that perspective, it is. It is really funny because when I do it to you, I actually have tears in my eyes.
You do it all the time to me. You're one of the you
so
and Annie are
great.
the 2 biggest fuckers when it comes to that.
Okay, it is so great.
So
but it's fucking funny.
You troll me and it's hilarious.
It is.
Your kid trolls you.
No, but I don't deserve any of it.
Must be punished.
You have said Here's the thing I don't like. I dare you.
You're an idiot. For
I
sharing
dare you.
something.
I dare
Melissa
you.
never said I dare you. Melissa said you fuckers
Melissa's
are
whole
so
life,
annoying.
Melissa's whole life is I dare you. I dare you to defy me. I tell you how, and I dare push that button. You know to push that button.
Do you know what
In
we
my
would have
case,
done?
I was just sitting quietly. I was just sitting quietly with a text to get your dinner order. And now, all of a sudden, because you're bored on a field trip, I have to have all of your clowns fucking bingy, bingy, bong, bong,
Well,
bong,
you
bang,
know,
bing,
it's
bing.
your job now to put like pictures of your youngest in there when he was a baby, pictures of, until he cleans out that whole text chain of people he doesn't want to see it, embarrassing things to all of those boys.
They all come over here all the time. They sleep here. They slept here on Friday. All of these idiots. So I can't. So I have a relationship with them now that I have to protect. It's in violation. This is worlds colliding in the worst way.
Rival nations.
I can't. Jack, I gotta just take it. All I can do is exit the text, which I don't want to do since I created it. I don't even know why he's doing this. It's just irritating. It's beyond irritating. It's super irritating. It's a super irritant. It's a new class. It is a mutant irritant. It has evolved into a super irritant.
To which you are not vaccinated.
I'm just about
Welcome to my world of text chains. Welcome. I saved you a seat. We have jackets. If you'd like a jacket, we have jackets.
Okay. Everybody hates non-iPhone users. We all hate them. We hate them, but we just don't openly carry the hate in our hearts. You say out loud. You say the quiet part out loud. You said, don't come on here.
Actually.
Don't come on. Okay. Well, then
that
that's why ping, ping, pong, pong gets the heart and the thumbs up. That's why.
I drove home from Margate City, New Jersey yesterday.
Oh.
And at one point, one of these ladies of these 10 women, decided to post something on our group chat. Now, I saw who was on which group chat as it popped up on the dashboard of my car, and then no fewer than 56 other likes, comments, hearts, ha-has popped up on my screen, and it said, "Would you like me to play this message?" And I yelled in my car by myself with a raspy voice, "Fuck no! Are you out of your mind?" I don't know to whom I was speaking, but 56, and that's after and it kept going. I come to you and dear listener on the regular to, explain things to me about beach living that I don't understand because I'm not a beach girl. I'm not a beach anything. Melissa and beach have never been in a sentence before this house. Barefootness. I've heard people talk about, I just got my summer feet and the summer's almost over. Walking on hot surfaces, you don't feel it as much, the dead skin on the bottom. Okay. I've seen people walk across hot coals for certain. Can you, I don't want to sound like a whiny, it's part of it's because I have a cold. For that, again, week 2, I apologize. What the fuck is with barefoot at the beach? Fine, you're on the sand. Why am I seeing you walking around Main Street with nothing on your feet? Why am I seeing you take your dog for a walk with it's 94 degrees, you're walking a dog with nothing on your feet? I don't endorse. I don't understand. Why? What is going on with you that you are walking on hot surfaces, potential rocks and twigs, glass, dog shit? You just have, are feet something you pop off at the end of the day and you pop back on? Are those shoes that look like feet? What is happening with people? Not 1, not 3. Most people are constantly, they're driving barefoot. I see them pop out of a car with a dog in the car, walk into a restaurant, listen carefully, barefoot, and pick up a to-go order barefoot and walk back into their car a block away with the dog like, "Hey, everybody, my dad's bare-fucking-footed." Please explain to me the appeal and phenomenon of barefoot
I think these
everywhere.
people are high. I think they're high.
Okay.
Are they high?
No, I don't know, but
Yeah,
there are
you
so
can't do
many
it
people.
anymore. Time was in the 70s. You
Yeah.
could do this because the earth hadn't gone into menopause yet and everything gets
Okay.
blistering fucking hot. You could walk around. Now, you can't do it. Your feet are gonna just walk around on bony stumps with no feet on the bottom. They'll be flamed off. It doesn't actually work. So, but
Well,
time
that's
was,
what
if
I'm
it was
saying.
temperate, I mean, if it's November, yeah, you can walk around with those shoes on. I mean, this is fucking Earth. It's great. I love it. It sounds fantastic. It's delicious. Hey, that's why they came up with those signs. Haters like you. No shirt, no shoes, no sandwich. That's what happens. That's what happens at the beach. You're the reason for the signs. But I'm here to tell you, the only people walking around with no shoes on anymore are hippies.
Are
Or
they?
surfers. Well, hippies, drug addicts, surfers, and it's really just the same group, right? They're all doing the same thing.
Is that
'Cause
the
they're-
population I'm looking at in Margate City?
Yeah, sure they are. They're carrying surfboards and apparatus. They're not walking around with a rolling cart. They're not that organized.
They are walking around with a rolling cart. So down our street walks the rolling cart, 3 kids who are wearing flip-flops
right.
or Crocs in sport mode, and they are getting 8 houses past me to the beach barefoot. I don't even object to them. I object to the weirdo walking his. I know you're going to the beach. For me, it's hard to walk on that wicked hot sand with no shoes on because I spontaneously catch on fire. I don't understand. John LaSpada does this too. He said, I'm getting my summer feet.
Yeah, that's right.
And then steps in these thorns that go right into his feet and says, oh, that sucks. Guys, wear shoes.
No, they can't be bothered. I mean, I got a lot of that shit on my mind. I got to put those shoes on now because when I get to the beach, I'm taking them off. It's not that big. It's hot, but I can get there. It's just mental toughness and also physical toughness. This is the reason people do it. I like to wear shoes. I prefer them. I'm just now getting acquainted to this idea that wearing shoes in the house is sickening and revolting. So, and I took my shoes off at my neighbor's house unrequested, walked in, took them off, and she said, what do you think of the shoes off? And she's from Brazil. And I said, and I just ignored it because I was thinking, I figured if I don't take my shoes off in here, you're going to say, look at this cracker or whatever you call Americans. Like, look at this ridiculous, how gross she carries her earthen trod filth.
Steps on dog shit, walks in my house on my white carpet.
Smears it on the, right. Okay. So, and I don't know what to do. There's no one answer. There's no one answer. I'm learning.
Wear fucking shoes not at the beach.
There's one answer.
But on the street, walking a dog, going to a restaurant and picking up food, you should be wearing shoes. I'm sorry. You just should be. And I'm not sorry. What's with Nancy Drew in the case of the weird shoes?
So one of the reasons that I am or was happy until my happiness was stolen from me like a thief in the night due to my 2 growing irritants is because I dove in over my head and completely cleaned out my bedroom and closet this whole weekend. Yay! With the departure of the children to the north and the colorful Mr. Wickham to the south. Things have been rather gray. So I was cleaning out my bedroom.
It's not a favor at all.
Yes. Throwing them away. Okay? Haven't done anything to process all of it will be sold, stick it in this room. If it's getting donated, it goes in a bag. Those donation bags have gone out the donation bags have been leaving every day. They're full, right? Just out. Dining room is just like a new closet. It's got all of this stuff, staging area, all folded, all in the bags, all ready to go. So I've got all those consignment bags, and I was like, I'm going to keep this party rolling. More consignment. So I thinned out my closet, went through all of the dressers, all of the clothing, everything, socks, every fucking thing, shoes. And then I thought, okay, it's just so liberating. It's so lightening. The world is coming together. I went to the cubby area to make sure I had all the shoes because we have, those lockers that you have in your house that's basically like a floor to ceiling kind of open cubby. We have those. So we have 5. There's 5 people live here. Underneath was a ragtag collection of shoes, the likes of which no one has ever seen or even knew they had, right? 3 pairs of Yeezys were found in this cubby area. 3.
Wow.
I'm sure I've already bought and replaced the missing, stolen, whatever. No, they were just in the cubbies, you lazy sack up. Okay. So
why are we still supporting that douchebag? But okay.
In addition to all of these, the shoes are kind of good. In addition to all of the magic mystery shoes that came out of that area, was a pair owned by no one who lives here.
Coming to take you away. Who the fuck owns the mystery shoes?
They're women's shoes, and they're weird fucking women's shoes, and they're old weird women's shoes.
All right, I have a guess. Ready? One of your friend's parents is
Checked with
also
both. Checked with both. Nope.
a non-shoe wearer. Okay.
And I was told by the one, those are too ugly to be my moms, and told by the other, those are too nice to be my moms. Okay, so they're like perma sliders or fluffer soles or something like this. They look like old-fashioned ballet, but not ballet shoes. They're that black knot leather with the little black grosgrain ribbon goes around where you slip your foot in, and there's like a little tiny shoelacy style tie at the front and a massively thick rubber sole. Well, in that, somebody has wedged like an orthopedic strength industrial aerosol insole. Like, I don't even know how a foot could fit in here because it's nothing but insole shoved into these fucking. I don't know what it is. I thought they were ballet flats for when my kid took dance. Like, that's why I was like, what the fuck is these shoes? So now what am I supposed to do? So now I'm having to offer these weird fucking shoes to everybody who comes into my house. Hey, did you maybe leave my house without your shoes? Which is kind of a weird question when you think about it. Did you come here wearing shoes and then for some reason leave here without your shoes and not notice for years?
I have two options for you. There are only two options as I see it. One, throw them out, move on. Urban legend, story, did you miss shoes, whatever. Two, which would be my preference, is you get a small table, which is a stand where you put a glass showcase box on top of it with the shoes inside. Kind of not
Ruby
dissimilar
slippers.
to a button that you would hit if you were in a contest and you had to race back like on Big Brother and hit a button that you were finished. So a tall waist-high table with a plexiglass box on top with the shoes in the middle of that box. Can't open it, can't get inside it. It's art now. You are waiting for the human that says, I used to have shoes like that. I wonder what happened to them. Because you're inviting the same people to your house, unless you know it belongs to.
Oh my God, shoes under plexiglass.
So showcase them and wait for someone to identify them. I see no other choice.
Did you ever see that show Fleabag?
Of course. Loved it.
Okay. For those who haven't seen Fleabag, it is so spectacularly written and acted. And at one point, I think her name is Olivia Colman. Is that her name? The actress?
She plays the
queen.
Stepmom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an artist.
Yes.
And her daughter-in-law takes some shit out of her house. So she has an art exhibit and puts up an empty plinth and titles it, A Woman Robbed. And it's nothing on the plinth. So the art is the fact that she tells the story of I had a beautiful piece of art and it's gone now. And so my art is the lost
And my stepdaughter
mystery and memory.
Right.
And you know what? It's fucking brilliant. It's so brilliant on so many levels. It's fucking hilarious. And also it works. So I now really want to take these ugly ass shoes and display them in an acrylic case.
Yes, that's what you have to do. And
And
then
I could
wait.
fucking hang them on the wall. No,
Just
I mean,
wait.
I'm going to lean into this art shit. Because they're already in the dining room, ready to be sold. Who would pay for them, I have no idea. But out the door they go.
My favorite part is, that is too ugly to, and that is too nice to.
That is too ugly.
People.
That is too nice. Yeah. And they were the in-laws of the same couple, right? So it's like...
I thought it was his mother's.
These
yeah.
grandmas are too good. Oh, Lord.
These are
the
too
things we
gross for
find.
my Nana. Yes,
The
I
things we
love
find.
it. You have to leave them showcased in some way.
No, that's perfect. I'm super fucking doing that. I love it.
Are you ready for 30 Seconds with Amy?
Usually not.
30 Seconds with Amy is our segment where I give Amy a topic, and within 30 seconds, she needs to give me as many of that item as she can possibly name. And at times it has been embarrassing, and at others she has just killed it. I think I am setting her up this week to kill it.
Uh-oh. No pressure.
Okay, in the next 30 seconds, Amy, please tell me as many of the following item as you can. That item, and I will do little hash marks here and see how you do. The item is not brands, but types of pasta.
Oh,
Go.
like shapes of pasta.
Yeah.
Bucatini, rigatoni, spaghetti, linguini, capellini, fusilli, cavatappi. Orzo technically counts. Pastine. The little tiny one that I'm picturing right now, penne gross. Let me think. Oh, no, I may be at the end.
You're not.
Shells.
Yes.
Fucking, we can do all pasta. So we can do,
Stop.
manicotti. Did you say stop?
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
That was only
okay.
because of time. I know you have them all.
What are the little ones that you put in soup?
You said pastina. Isn't that what that is? Those
They are, but that's really more for like you make.
pastina.
What I'm thinking of is if you would take, it's like there's
The
something
little
that's like with a,
circles?
it's like with a B name. Like, and all I could think of was like bufala, which is super wrong. Whatever the little tiny, like two belly, whatever the hell it is. There's something with a B. I'll have to look it up now.
You
Anyway.
hit 11, and that's only because you were more conversational than you were rapid fire. That is a great number.
Honestly, I don't have very many pastas on. I was just visualizing my cabinet. We don't have very many pastas at the moment because
like
the kids
there's
are kind of
angel
assholes.
hair and spaghetti and linguine and elbows. Like
Oh,
the
I forgot
basic
about
bitch
those.
ones you didn't get. You got the fusilli Jerry. You got all the Seinfeld
All they
references.
want is rigatoni anymore, which makes me irritated.
Is
That's
that right?
all they want. Yes, they've crossed over. And now they like is rigatoni, which is boring.
Cavatappi is my favorite.
Yeah, super great. Love it.
It holds on to all the sauces in the best way, and its
Yes.
texture.
Orchetta is another great one. Yeah.
Is that the tiny little looks
Looks
like
like a
rice?
thumbprint. Yeah. No, that's orzo. Orchetta looks like it's if you took a shell, you know how you have medium shells.
Yeah.
But if you could imagine sticking your thumb right in it while it was still soft before it hardened up, and so it makes a kind of like a
Flatter.
disc.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. That's orchetta.
Well, you did fucking great.
Oh,
Abe,
thank
how
you
many
for the
people do you
layup.
tell that you have a podcast?
0 to 1, 0 to fractional 0.3, I think. Very
And if
few.
at some point of time they learn it not from you,
Mhm.
oh yeah, well, she
Always not for me. Yeah.
Oh, endorse, agree, same here. Always not for me, which is why our success is slightly tampered down and not the rage that it should be. Everybody who has heard that we speak into a mic once a week and share our joys, our failures, our loves, our hates, our fucking text chains with, a serious staple of 300 to 600 people, they all feel like they have content that they want to share with us.
Oh no.
You
Okay.
should podcast about this, and then
Oh,
all
the
of this stuff.
cocktail party cometh. Okay. No. God,
How often
no.
does that happen to you?
Very rarely, because it's usually the child who is outing me, right?
Oh, really?
And then all the adults get this quizzical like, oh, and then they want to ask about it a little bit, and I have to immediately say, by sentence 4, I'm saying it's a little off color, because it's the kind of thing where you don't come right out and it's like cunts. But that's every
I
week.
love that
when we're-
song.
when we're
Cunts,
fucking-
cunts.
That's the name of this episode. Yeah, I mean, it's like that's always like, typically we go there. We go, it's
We talk
we're-
about
yes.
shitting. We talk about shitting in our pants in our backyard because we couldn't get the door open. Yeah, all the things.
All the normal, relatable
That was
things
the
that
Buchanan's
happen.
reference.
That happen to us all. So, yeah. It's always I'm getting outed by somebody, and I'm having glimmers of this earlier today where my sacrosanct group text was violated
Yeah.
by this same child. And I now am suspecting that spreading news of the podcast is simply, my kids listen to it a lot of times because I call them out and I embarrass them and this and that. And then they want to go to all the salacious episodes and play them because they're funny. Honestly, we're pretty funny. So, and then they always want to do the quiz episodes. Would you rather fight a shark or a bear or something like this? And they argue with my responses. So, they actually do enjoy it, listening to it. So maybe they're not calling me out. Who knows? I don't have a lot of trust or faith in my children at this point based on the way they're treating me. But yes, I don't regularly get into a conversation where you've got a podcast. Hey, did you ever do this? I get that with cooking. I get that, which is fucking annoying. Yeah, it's like, hey, you like to cook? Why don't you come over here and cook all the blah, 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 for like everything in the neighborhood and all the people. It's just like, I thank you. I mean, what do you like to do? Fold laundry? Why don't you come to my house and fold all my laundry? Like, it's not that kind of a thing. You don't have to jump into my thing. Here's a good song for you. You write songs? Here's a song you can write. It's like, okay, well, you can write that too, Charlie.
I've got a great storyline for your next song that you're writing. So you're saying Taylor Swift gets the same bullshit that...
I love thinking that we are on a par creatively and production-wise with Taylor Swift, in that we're in the same conversations with she with her peers and we with ours, that people want to infiltrate our self-expression. Yeah, I do think that's true. Yeah.
I get it a lot. I get it from everybody who learns that we speak into a mic. Everybody who learns is like, oh my God, you totally need to talk about this, or have you tried to talk about that? Yeah, that sounds like your alley. That's not really, okay, fine. So
I'll tell you the one, I'm sorry I'm jumping right in. I'll tell you the one that I do get, and I get it easily once every 3 days, forever, for the history of the show. And that is, you are not to podcast about this. I get that every fucking time.
But that's very similar, thinking that, well, that's probably from your family. But that's also people thinking that, or not knowing what the podcast is about. Or if they say it and they're accurate and it was going right on our board, then sorry, you shouldn't have done it, because you know exactly what I do in my wheelhouse. I saw a TikTok that had, somebody sent me one that said, this could be for your podcast. And I thought, I really fucking hate it when people do this. And then I watched the TikTok.
Really? Because then you like it and you want to put it on, but you don't want them to get the credit for telling you to put it on. Is that why? Is that why?
I don't
mind making that face.
I don't mind giving anybody the credit. If it's what we do, then yes, I'm in. But I feel like it's mostly not what we do.
Oh.
This one was a TikTok that said, my parents were away and I was watching their house. I went to their house with my dog. My parents are away. This is a grown-up with her dog staying at her parents' house while they're away. She finds her mother's sex toy under the bed in a box. Maybe her dog found it. I don't know. It's found. And
who doesn't have a night table? Okay.
Work.
All right. No, I'm stay on focus. Stay on topic. Okay.
Stay with me. So she looks at it and is horrified. And she's there for a week. No partner, no nothing. And she decides to sanitize it.
Oh.
Right. You see where I'm going. She sanitizes it completely, they said.
No.
Sanitizes it completely and uses it for her pleasure.
Who was this person to you? Because they are not that person to you anymore. This is not a friend. This is not someone that you are continuing to be friends with. That is the creepiest, grossest.
She's slightly horrified by the situation, but then realizes this week that she's using it, she has had the best orgasms of her entire life.
Irrelevant.
She wants to, I can't believe my mom found the best sex toy out there. This is amazing. I am not going to discuss it with her, but what I really need to do is look for the brand, find out what it is, and get my own. I'm obviously not taking my mother's vibrator.
Yeah. Okay. So if we're able to come to this logical conclusion at the end of the paragraph, why did you just skip the part where you insert something that's already been in somebody else's bastanka-tank?
In your mother's bastanka-tank.
Come on. If you can't get to the part where you say, "Ooh, that's titillating," why don't I look it up on the fucking Dr. Google before oh my God.
Well, she didn't know at the time that it would be the best orgasm of her life. So she didn't realize she would want the exact same.
You know what? I think she might figure out that incest is great too. Stay out of it. There's no justifying what she did. It's gross. It's gross.
So she reads the fine print on it. Do you want to guess?
This is so much time with a personal object in somebody else's house.
Do you want to guess?
starting to get real creeped out about whoever shoes are in my fucking house now.
It says it's made by the company Clone Your Man. What she has been masturbating to with the best orgasms of her entire life has been a mold of her father's penis.
Okay. You deserve it, you pervert. You deserve it. You pervert.
At what
Who
point?
is this pervert? Who is this pervert? This is a friend of a friend? This is somebody you fucking know.
This is somebody I know sent me this specific TikTok. It's nobody we know. Nobody, anybody I know knows. And if it is, don't fucking tell me because we can no longer be friends.
Oh, my God.
This story was wrong at the get-go. This story
Yes.
was wrong after the first two sentences. The story became
No.
wrong when we sanitized it, wrong when we used it, wrong when we found out it was her dad that's been fucking her so right.
Oh, my God. Even your ew. Even your way you, even your sentences. All I can hope is that this is a fucking lie perpetrated by the ticker-talkers, that it's a lie to get clickety clicks.
I'll send you
That's
the
all.
I'll send you the
No, I don't
TikTok.
want it. I don't want that kind of content. I don't want it. I don't want it. Don't send it. I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. Don't send me your creepy incest vibrator TikToks. I don't want it.
Dear listener, you're staying at your
Okay.
parents' house.
The drops that you can get that come out of my mouth sometimes.
You're staying at your parents' house and you discover a toy that your mom uses.
I mean, what's next? Hey, that dog toy looked pretty good. Let me see where I can stick it. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing?
I have a spouse
What
who
are you
works.
doing that you can't go for a day without it? Can we start there?
Can we
start
with
there?
what is wrong with
Period.
using your
Just
hand?
period.
With
Just
using
what
your
is
hand?
wrong?
Why do you
What
need
is
that
wrong?
toy? What is wrong with this world? Yeah, this took
Fingers are fine. Just fingers are fine.
fingers are fantastic. One step too far, 2, 3, 4. It is like 7 steps too far in this whole story. And if I'm being honest, 99% of the time when somebody says to me, here's some content for your podcast, I roll my eyes and I think, no fucking way. When she sent
That's not
going
to
to
be
me,
another one of them dead dad weird dong along, stick it in your daughters, is it? Because we got enough of that content
Stick it
already.
in your daughter.
We don't need that anymore.
I don't think
We're
he
all chucked up. We
I don't think
need
he
any more.
was dead. I think he was away. I will rewatch it because I was so horrified. The one time I watched it, I was afraid that my algorithm would say,
Gal,
she's watched it twice.
you
She must
got
love
the answer in the question. You don't watch that shit again. What are you doing? Just walk away. Actually run in the opposite direction of anything that has to do with anything like that. It's not what you want. That's not what your life is about now. That's not what your life is about now. I don't know about you before, but now it's no. Now
Dear
it's
listener,
no.
at what point did you disengage? Did you see the box? If you were this person, did you see the box under the bed and say, I don't want to know? Or did you say, I think it's cash? I want to know. Did you pull what I pulled when my mother had a huge box in the dining room and I opened it and it was chocolate from Cadbury and she was selling it for one of her thousands of jobs and I ate the whole thing? I related a little to it, but I was a child and it was
can't-
not a sex
no,
toy.
No. Stumbling upon a box of food in a common area of the home
That's what
displayed on
happened
a
to me.
table is very different than a lifelike replica of your father's penis.
She didn't know it was his dong when she
shrouded
started.
beneath the bed. Who's rummaging underneath the bed in their parent? What do you think you're gonna find down there? There ain't nothing good under your parents' bed.
Maybe
period.
she was cleaning.
Nope. She wasn't. When's the last time you cleaned under your bed?
In my
Thank you.
parents' house? Never.
Anywhere, in any house, in your whole life. Never. The only time you're going under there is when the dog kicks something or your shoe's missing. That's it. That's it. You're not under the bed for any reason. There's nothing under there except daddy dildos. Gross. Pass. No thanks. Check out. No, I'm done. I'm done.
Clone your
Nope.
man. Dear listener, write us at brilliantobservations@gmail.com. Check us out on Facebook, Brilliant Observations and Brill Ob Squad, our very elite group of, masturbators. I don't know.
Wow.
And go on to, should we open a Snapchat account? We only have
I'm not doing that
Instagram
shit.
where we're
I'm not
Listen
doing
Brilliant.
that shit. I'm not doing that shit. That's where all of my kids are. And they're, as you've heard, ruthless. So I'm not interested in doing. I can't pick up another platform. By the way, I'm not doing it. I theoretically commit to doing TikTok. I theoretically commit to putting content on TikTok. My content would be so good if I would just do it. It would be great. A lot of times I think, oh, that's really good.
Amy and her next
I'm
TikTok.
going to sit here and not do that.
Amy's going to take us under her bed and show us what's in that shoebox under her bed.
You're welcome to look. There's nothing under my bed because I just cleaned it. Zero.
I
Nothing.
used to keep love letters under my bed in a boot box.
Those are in a Chanel hat box that are in the top shelf on the shelf in my closet. Cleaned and sorted. Thank you very much. Nothing under the bed.
Mine are gone.
Oh, no love for you?
No. They were mostly love notes from previous boyfriends.
I kept
And
a couple of those.
I printed some email messages because that's the stage of technology when my husband and I started to date. And that email address is long gone. And yes, dear listener, I'm still on AOL. So suck it.
I got to be honest with you. I threw out a couple because I couldn't remember who it was, and they weren't that inspiring. And then I kept a couple that I couldn't remember who it was, and I thought that's pretty good.
That is
I think
inspiring.
I think that's pretty good. I know who you are, or what happened to you, or what I did back then, but something went right. Yeah. So it's strange to think, in the wrong hands. What's gonna, why did she keep this all these years?
Yeah,
And it's
I don't.
You
need
could
to
ask
counter
the
that
same of the
argument.
Rolaids tin in my, toothbrush drawer.
I'm a hoarder.
There's no rhyme. Yeah, there's nothing. There's no secret to be told here. So
Do you watch your national news regularly?
I don't. I watch the Today Show on occasion, and that has the air of news on it. I watch political shows on occasion. I actually have gotten much, much better. When COVID started, everything in my life changed. I started watching the news to try and we're isolated and I want to know news of the world. And it was awful and a lifeline at the same time. And then I became a person who had it on all the time. And I thought, I don't want to be this person.
Right.
So then I turned it off.
Right.
I turned it off completely. And it took a while for me to even realize that was background noise in my life, that I didn't even realize I was doing it. So now I have 2 political shows that I record, and I do this with the Today Show as well. I have the DVR set so that it only records one. So every time it records a new one, it just deletes the old one.
Okay.
So I always have the most
One
recent
in the chamber.
Most recent one in the chamber for 3 different shows that contain news-like objects, and then that's it. 60 Minutes so that's another one. I never watch it, but we have it recorded.
I
Used
love
to be
60 Minutes.
we
I
would
used to love
reset the
that.
week and sort of get
I like
ready and
that.
get yourself settled, have a cocktail. Yeah, that's it.
Football's about to fuck you for that. But
Yep.
have you seen on any of those shows that we have an escaped murderer here?
It's not national news. Meaning
That's what I'm asking because I saw it on the Today Show. And I thought,
didn't see it today.
what
I didn't see it today.
the fuck? This is
I have it
national
taped.
news?
I didn't see it today,
Okay.
so I could go back and I have it queued up and could go look at it.
It's like a week now that we have had this 34-year-old man who stabbed his ex-girlfriend 38 times in the chest.
That feels good. Yeah.
He
that's
was
not-
found
that's not good.
guilty and life in prison, and he escaped.
From the prison.
Chester County,
Oh, what a
Pennsylvania
crafty
prison.
little fucker. Ooh, Chester's not far. Yeah. Okay.
That's where I
Mhm.
live. And,
Yeah, sure.
I'm a little concerned. Everybody said, "Oh, he's headed to Mexico," and I'm like,
You don't have to be concerned. That's one where you don't actually have to be concerned at all.
Do you know what kind of anger it takes to stab somebody in a clavicle, in a chest, in a breastplate 38 times?
I do. I was. You can rewind it.
How
I've got,
do you?
a group text from this morning.
Oh, okay,
Listen,
okay.
listen. Here's why you don't have to be worried at all. And I'm not being facetious. I believe this because the same thing happened when the active shooter was identified last week at Carolina campus, where too many of our very close friends' kids go, and it's just right up the road, and people we know teach there, and all the stuff. And then immediately you think, oh, whew, okay, because once it was revealed,
Very specific.
in that case, as it is in this case, that it was this shooter on the Carolina campus shot the victim 9 times, not just once.
Right,
shot
not
him.
bang everywhere.
Shot
right.
9 times. Actually shot her 9 times.
Crime
Right.
of passion.
Killed. Yes. So that passion is over. That person doesn't have a passion to do anything to you. That person has a passion to remain free and on the lam. So as long as you're not looking, you fine. Just go about your business. Just don't get gasoline, right? Don't go to the supermarket. This person's not going anywhere. It's been a week. This person is still not in Chester if it's been a week. Let's say that. Has it been a whole week?
Yeah, there have been sightings.
Sightings. Come on. That's some made it. Do you believe that this person is still hanging around Chester looking for the man with one arm who shot and stabbed his girlfriend 99 times?
I didn't kill my wife.
I don't care. Roll your maps. I mean, we all understand The Fugitive. Thank you, Tommy Lee Jones. You're a national treasure.
Thank you for everything, Harrison Ford.
I'll take Tommy Lee in a
escaped
second.
murderer here. Is anybody checking on us? No. I also discovered I was away with a friend whose mother called her while she was with us, and she said to her, everybody's daughter called them to make sure they were okay with this escaped murderer, except for you. You didn't call me.
That's right.
And I thought that's absolutely something my mother would say, right, to me, like everybody else. But she would have said everybody else's daughter called except for you. I think I have thin skin because she said the same thing to my girlfriend who was like, well, are you okay, Mom? Then you're fine. And I'm one to be like, why are you so mean? I'm going to stop playing a victim in my own life. How about them apples? How about that as the discovery for today? Let her say what she wants.
That is so huge and so transformative. And for it to be an offshoot of this weirdest possible trigger that is totally unrelated is the strangest thing I've ever heard in my life. I love it for you, but I don't get how you got there from this.
I watched somebody else hear the same comment that my mother would have said to me and would have sent me spiraling. Like, I can't do anything right by you. If I call you and tell you to look out, you'd say you're being ridiculous. So hearing somebody react in a very normal, neutral, responsive way was shocking to me. And I said, how come you didn't, you know what she meant by, what was the subtext in? Like, I had all these questions, and she's like, she says shit like that all the time. That's my mother. How healthy is that of her, and how fucked up? So, okay, now, yeah, you'd be pretty if comments I don't need to get offended by. I don't need to get offended. If only you were normal comments. I don't need to get offended by anymore. I don't need to go by what her definition of pretty or normal are anymore. I'm good.
I love that. I think that's huge and quite a trick that you're able
if
to.
I can pull it off. Well, I didn't say I'm able to.
That you're able to acknowledge and walk toward. And I want to say just as loud that those last two things are not the same as saying everybody else's daughters called them. You didn't call me. That's very different than the other two things that you've regularly heard. So in your house, in your relationship, they're all the same because they're all connected to the same person with the same motivation. The one that you observed was just a casual, it was a bit of poking the bear a little bit. It was, when are you going to call your mother? It was, why don't you put your napkin in your lap? It was not, you are the biggest disappointment I could ever imagine creating. They're not the same trigger.
If you were a normal child, you'd come home and help me plan this wedding.
Right. Yeah.
You would send me pictures of your
children.
So
so that's the reason for my astonishment is, what you observed was
mild. It was a 1 on a 1
no,
to 10.
They're not even in this. They're not even in the same category. But you were able to connect it. So it's great. I love that you're connecting to it. And that's just to take, go all the way around the bull's ass like I like to do. I was over at the neighbor's house, different neighbor.
Yeah.
And they're from Brazil, and they had some family in from Brazil. So it was the kind of thing, meet the family, do this thing. Oh, okay. So at one point, we're all outside on their patio, and they didn't have enough room, so they were pulling chairs from inside to the outside because we just wanted to all stay outside. And the son and the dad were both squished into a chair that was really just for one person. And the son moved his arm in such a way that he bumped the wine, and the wine went all over the dad's shorts, right? And somebody looked over and went, oh, goodness, like that. Like that amount of acknowledgement. I mean, it was down his leg, in his shoe, all over his shorts. And the dad, who is my neighbor, looked at the son, and he looked down, and they both kind of made eye contact. And the dad went like he was going to stand up and go clean himself up. And then you sort of saw his body think twice. And then he just kind of settled back in and he patted his son's leg a couple times and goes, do you know what? It's okay. It's okay. And he just sat there and he didn't do anything, didn't even acknowledge it. And the son didn't even say, fall all over himself. I'm sorry.
Oh my God,
Everybody
I'm
just
so
waited.
sorry.
Everybody just waited. But I was like, you could have said you're fucking sorry. But anyway, everybody just waited, right? In the same way that people who have girls, little girl children, were always astonished when our child would like fall down 9 flights of steps or something, and we would just watch and
keep
wait.
rolling, and then
And
get
then the
up
child
and keep
stands
running.
up and everything's into, and we're like, okay, we're fine. You know, and they're like, well, where's the reaction? Where's the reaction? Yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, look at that. No reaction. And it was impressive and exotic and humbling and so inspiring. Like I was like, that is exactly the kind of person that I want to be around other people, around my kids, where it's this nothing thing that is a nothing thing in 10 minutes is a nothing thing now, right? I make it a nothing thing in 10 minutes, but it's usually a pretty big fucking thing right now.
I mean,
and I
only
try not
because
to have it be.
my underpants are wet with
And now I
wine
smell
and-
like wine, and it's, you know, and you're on a white cushion that ain't white anymore. Just all the things. But it's like, okay. So to watch and see and be transformed by, oh, that interaction, I didn't think that an interaction could go that way. I feel like that's
I
what
wasn't
happened when you
aware
saw, right.
that was even a viable option for being spoken to in a. Of course, I think there's so much more in the subtext of what my mother says. Nonetheless, if I can learn anything from these friends of mine to say, it's just her being her. Like if I could let anything roll off, I'm setting myself up for that. I want that.
Well, and that is one way that you maintain a relationship with her, because there's a whole another school of thought that says
Let her go.
this is not a healthy dynamic. If every fifth thing out of her mouth, you know, causes you
It's triggering.
several hours of mental anguish, that's too much. That's too much. So maybe put a little distance. And we've been all trained into politeness overall, family overall. It doesn't matter how hurtful, you know, just you know, tuck that down in a way, because it's more important that you're a good girl. It's more important that you're a polite girl. It's more important that you conjugate your sentences properly. None of that fucking shit's important. None of it's important. What's important is that you are healthy and happy and making the world a better place for yourself and others. So being kind to yourself. If people are not being kind to you, you wouldn't stay friends with someone who's not kind to you.
Oh, no fucking way. No fucking
You wouldn't,
way.
you wouldn't stay friends or continue to fold in someone who is catty and petty and rude and disrespectful and somehow jealous at the same time and seems to constantly want to knock you down a peg. That's not the kind of person that you want in your life. So if she's not the kind of person that is open to any kind of reasonable sliding scale conversation about making it better, making her
I think we're
aware.
long past that. I think
Yeah,
any work
so
I do
it's-
is mine, not
So
hers.
it's lessening the interaction. It's just lessening the interaction. And then, like you say, being well aware that every interaction is an opportunity for arrows to come at you. So one of the shields is I'm not going to listen. They can't land on me if I've already decided everything that you say is really just you talking to yourself. Has really nothing to do with me. So
What do they say? You are the sum total of the 5 humans with whom you spend the most time, right?
That's it.
You've picked
That's the
up their
one.
traits. There are people in my life I have let go because they weren't great parents. And I thought it was important to be a better parent. And I didn't want to pick up the verbiage or attitude or whatever from those people. I don't spend time with my family that much. The family I've chosen are the people with whom I spend my time. And those 5 people I'm kind of proud of. So I'm happy to march forward with this, but I witnessed a really healthy response. Does that say their relationship is super healthy? No, I have no idea what it is. And I'm not a person who could even judge that. Look at my life. So I just want to be more like that. I followed another. That's for me. I'm going to try that. That's for me. So I'm going to keep repeating that as a mantra the same way. And here's my last TikTok for today. I'm sorry. New York Times embedded video that I saw was, Amy, do you meditate at all?
I don't. I know I should.
Would you
I
like
don't.
to? Like, is that something in the future you think, clearing your head and
I probably will force myself into a meditation practice. I think the reason that I don't meditate is there are, in any given month, year, season of my life, more than a dozen ways that I fall into a meditative state through action. I'm doing something that forces a kind of the same result as a mind clearing, mind emptying, on autopilot zone. And it's through creating things.
Do you get that from cooking?
I get it from cooking. I get it through art. I get it through different kinds of exercise. I get it through singing. I get it through being creative in any way. So, yeah, sometimes even just through cleaning, my brain will go into this sort of zone state. And I do like that. So I recognize that meditation is for me. I just need to cultivate a practice where I'm actively sitting down and saying, okay, thinking, I'm in charge now.
I'm so glad you just said that, because every time I've tried to start to, I get all of these thoughts and the brain and the ticking, everything's moving, hamster on a wheel, hamster on a wheel. There's an embedded in New York Times video that I saw that said, clear your mind. I can't do that. Say this inside your head. I wonder what my next thought will be.
Oh, the Eckhart Tolle trick, I believe.
Wonder what my next thought will be.
Mm-hmm. My mom's a big devotee of Eckhart Tolle. Yes. I wonder what my next thought will be. That doesn't work on me, because when you say that, well, they're like, well, I'm not going to give it away, but just for a moment, get yourself comfortable. Sit down if it's safe. Close your eyes if it's safe, and then think, I wonder what my next thought will be. And you'll be amazed at what your mind brings you, because my mind doesn't bring me anything. My mind brings me the question again. I wonder what my next thought will be is the question.
Yes.
I wonder what will be. I'm still
be
wondering.
Your mantra. That could be your, I would prefer that on repeat over the hamster wheel I have of what's going wrong or what's next or what haven't I done, or if I were only a normal daughter, I would go home and help her plan this wedding, or whatever is happening is a wheel that I'm stuck on. So to take that dog leg out of it, to just say, I wonder what my next thought would be.
You don't have an immediate thought that enters?
No.
It does force your mind to go blank, as I think that's what it's supposed to do.
It's blank, and then the question repeats, and then it's blank, and maybe the question will repeat. And I welcome that in such a way that at nighttime, if I'm trying to go to sleep, and this is new for me, I did it once. All right, I also had some THC in my system, so that might have helped too. But if there's something you find that works, share it. Don't proselytize to the point where you're an annoying fuck, but share it. And that's what I was doing here. You said you hear that question again and again.
Yes, but you were saying it was one of the things that you tried. I feel like you were going to tell me another thing you tried. No? So it helped you go to sleep? You were saying, I wonder what my next thought will be. And it would and then you wait. And then you say, I wonder what my next thought will be. And then you wait.
Yeah. And then somebody
I keep waiting for a thought to show up. Oh. Like, I wonder what my next thought will be. And then I'm like, but I'm not having any thoughts. Or am I supposed to be having a thought? That's the point
of quieting your mind.
Oh, because it's if it's difficult to.
Yeah. Okay. To quiet, not necessarily the voices that are telling you to do mean things. That's a totally different treatment altogether.
I wonder what my next thought will be. Pick up the knife.
Kill.
Yeah, no.
Kill. No. Yawn really loudly at convocation.
Oh my gosh. Still to this
cause
day.
A ruckus. Wave a flag.
Leave your shoes.
Put them in loose sight. Are you a tennis fan? And I know we have to close this, but we are in the middle of the Open. So.
My husband was watching women's doubles this weekend, and I looked over at him and I said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Women's doubles tennis? What?" I said, "What's next? Pickleball?" And he just started laughing. So I'm aware that tennis happens. When it's exciting and it's a big old match, I will watch it. It's hard to call me a tennis fan.
It's been on, and I'm not really a fan, but I am married to one, and we were away with a couple of fans. So I was watching this past weekend, and little here, little there. Love to see a 19-year-old American come from whatever. Like, I love certain things. I saw a German competitor who heard somebody make a Hitler comment.
What?
And stopped the entire match in a tie and said, I just heard the most offensive thing I've ever heard, and I can't go on until it's fixed. And they identified who it was and removed somebody. This was yesterday. It was
Holy!
shit's going down during tennis, and I've actually been impressed by it this past weekend.
That's saying something, because I saw something with the tennis, and a woman was saying, why are you letting her sit down? Why are you giving her all the time she needs? Why she get to have a soda or whatever? She's like, I'm just saying, why you call it? The woman was saying the whole crowd knows it, because the crowd was going, yeah, because she was getting angry with the official for
Ooh, it
one of the
reminds me of
competitors.
the McEnroe
Yes,
days. I
yes.
love
And
that.
she was like, I've let it go, and now it's the third time you're doing it. So if that's a pattern, then you need to do it to benefit me too, because you're only doing it to her, and I don't understand
Like
it.
stalling, are you saying stalling, breaking
It
a
was
run, or
multiple infractions. The first thing that she was talking about was calling something. I think there's an amount of a time limit. There's some in other sports you would have like a shot clock. There must be a time limit to start a serve or to do something, and the other player was not being held to the same standard, and I guess
Oh.
abusing it to her advantage. And then the other player sat down during the match, like at a break moment. And evidently you're allowed to have a break, but you're not allowed to be seated. And so she's like, you going to let her do this too? Let's go. Like I was like, all right. Tennis starting to act like a fucking sport. Because tennis is hard, but they also kind of act like, well, that's tennis, which is kind of ridiculous.
well, tennis and golf are the two sports where you have to shut the fuck up as a fan until the action is over. And I do not subscribe to sports where you
Why
can't.
am I here?
Yeah. Why? I didn't have to be here for this. I could be quiet on my couch.
Thank you. I'm not playing. And guess what? I wouldn't be quiet on my couch. It was probably more fun.
And I don't clap like this. I fucking, to the point where my kids are like, your clapping is so loud. I need you to shut the fuck up. So we'll stop doing shit that makes me want to clap for you. I could hear you in a crowd. I bet you your kids heard you in that lacrosse crowd too. Look, it's a very genteel sport. Everybody's in a collared shirt. Those are not the sports I typically endorse.
No.
But this year's Open has been super interesting. And the food they're showing from the Open, that's where I was born, in Queens. I'm going. I'm just
You were
saying.
born in Queens. Oh, okay.
There's also a
But
degree
you were
of.
born all the way out on the island. I didn't realize you were born in Queens.
I was born in Queens, raised
For like
in
third.
Massapequa.
Were you? Well, I was gonna say, did they come into Queens for the hospital? But you really lived out in the.
No, they were in Jamaica, Fresh Meadows.
Oh.
They were in the area. And I just think sitting out, you said it, it's a sport. It's athleticism at its peak. It's 112 degrees with humidity out there. How are you still doing this? And of course, we're sitting there looking at women dressed with patches over their nipples of sponsors so that you're not staring at the daggers that are flying at it. Look, tennis, it's not for everyone. That should be their tagline.
Holy moly. And every time I hear Jamaica Queens, I just think back to our good friend Marnie, who, high as a fucking kite, I feel like she was on mushrooms for the first time, was on a subway and the train and saw the sign for Jamaica and immediately panicked because she thought she got on the wrong train to Jamaica.
Like Jamaica Mon.
Yes.
Ooh,
and was
Jamaica.
calling out and going, I'm on the wrong train. I'm
Oh
going to
my
leave the country. I don't
God.
want to leave the country. I don't want to leave the country. I don't know what to do. She was super high. She'll have to tell us. But
She
I
might
don't
be our
know.
first guest caller because I guess after that situation, she switched to just Chardonnay.
she made it. She made it through the rain and did not end up leaving the country.
In
So
Jamaica.
God bless. That's right.
Dear
God bless and
listener,
amen, sister.
Thank you once again for turning us on. I hope we turned you on in some way, although looking back, I can't imagine how.
Don't start using those daddy dildos, girls, because that's fucking creepy.
We love that you're here. We hope you come back again next week. And please, please, please let us know. Are you using your mom's dildo? Would you
Also don't let us know. Just exit and don't come back.
Would you
if that's
kill
you.
yourself if you found out you fucked your dad and it was the best orgasm you've ever had? We do have a friend who once told me, a mutual friend who once told me, dude, I had sex with this guy and his penis fit inside of me so well. It's like we were Legos and made for each other. And I thought,
Okay.
are you going to marry him? Like, wow, it's that good. Like, oh my God, that's amazing. She blew him off 2 weeks later, but I was so impressed. I'm like, Legos. That's the perfect click.
That's a pretty tight seal.
I loved it, and then he was gone within days. Let us know what your thoughts are. Have you ever fit perfectly? Does your dad's? Never mind. We love you. Thank you for listening. Come back again soon.
Cuts.
Bye.
Don't send me your creepy incest vibrator TikToks. I don't want it.